Hey, what's going on guys? It's Cole here, and today I'm bringing you a ranking video, taking a look at all the Cerberus variants on the brand new Black Ops Cold War Zombies map, MAUER or TOTEN. Now, in this video, we are going to be judging the Cerberus variants both by how they kill on higher rounds, and I'm calling that at least 40 plus. Obviously, the health cap's at 55, so I'm mostly basing it off of that and my high round experience with them on stream recently. By the way, if you're not following the Twitch, you should be, link on screen and in the description below. But I'm not going to be focusing very much on their early game potential, as all of them are very, very strong in the early game. So I'm going to be looking more at once the health starts to go up and the damage starts to go down, how do they all perform? As well as that, I'm also going to be ranking them based on just how good they feel, because some of them feel particularly off in the higher rounds, so I'm going to be including that as well. So with all that being said, let's get into it. And coming in at number 4 as the worst Cerberus variant, we have the Diffuser. Now, I went back and forth on what the worst one was a lot, because number 4 and number 3 are very, very close in terms of performance. But once I added in the feel factor to this list, it became very clear that the Diffuser had to be put here as the worst of the 4. The Diffuser early game has some awesome destructive potential. You will really just go into a horde of zombies like pre-round 30 and just blast them away with this thing. It feels amazing. But once the health starts to go up, it really stops performing, and it will take multiple shots into a group of zombies just to get 2 or 3 kills if you're not using Ring of Fire. And this is only like at round 45 that I'm talking about. I really haven't even picked it up past the health cap because I know that it's not going to perform at all. On top of that, it doesn't do very well against the special enemies or the mini bosses of the map, things like panzers and manglers. So overall, it's just not very good, and it feels very bad when you have to use a shotgun 3 to 4 times to get a couple kills. And coming in at number 3, we have the Blazer mod, and this one, like I said before, is actually very close to the Diffuser mod in terms of raw performance. It does have a very slight edge, but it's not really enough to be noticeable, and they're going to feel about the same in terms of how strong they are during your game. The thing that puts the Blazer for me above the Diffuser is that it can kill special enemies a little bit better. And by that, I mean it's going to melt armor better, it's going to be better against the Manglers and the Disciples. It's not so great against the Panzers still, but against those couple of enemies, it is going to be stronger than the Diffuser is. On top of that, it just feels better. Again, like I said before, once the Diffuser starts to shit out, it really, really feels bad. And the Blazer can at least feel a bit better. It feels smoother to use. So overall, I prefer it a bit more. I'm still not going to pick it up at the higher rounds, especially up by the health cap, but I would take this over the Diffuser, absolutely. So it comes in at number 3. Now, moving on to number 2, we have what is the actual best mod kit of the Cerberus out of the 3, and this is going to be the Swarm. Now, the Swarm actually is pretty good, especially compared to the last 2. What the Swarm does really well is it actually gets kills past like round 45. It's not going to be very many, but it can actually hold its own at about 45 to 47, which I cannot say for the previous 2 entries at all. And on top of that, this thing is amazing against the armor on the special enemies. Things like the Panzers, the Manglers, the Disciples, this thing is going to do so well against all 3 of them. And on top of that, it has the lock-on ability, which makes it especially helpful for Disciples, since you can just ADS and it will lock onto them, and you can just shoot over your crowd of zombies to take them out super easily with the lock-on. Overall, this thing just has a lot of things going for it. It does get a few points docked in the feel category. I just have to mention this before I move on. The double shot is awkward. Okay, when you click or you pull the trigger and it fires twice instead of once, that just feels weird. It just doesn't feel right. I know it's been throwing me off for the last few days. I know a lot of people who have picked the weapon up for the first time also think it's really weird that it does that. I just had to throw that in. It's not enough to dock it far enough down to like an actual spot difference, but it's just something that should be mentioned, is that it feels weird. It is the best though. You can't really argue that it's the best. So with that, it's getting put in at number 2. And coming in at number 1, to the surprise of literally no one who has played the map at all, it's going to be the base version of the Cerberus. This thing is just so much better than any of the upgrades that are available for it in the map. It's a full auto pistol with 50 shots in it when pack-a-punched. It does the most damage per shot out of any of them. I think it does a tiny bit less, actually, of like the damage per tick from the Blazer. But since you can shoot way faster than the Blazer can tick, you end up putting out that damage so much faster. When paired with Ring of Fire, it's an effective camping weapon through the entire game, past the health cap. It even holds its own without Ring of Fire, just on the health cap. You can kill zombies. It's going to take a bit. You're going to have to train a little bit on the health cap rounds, but like, you can do it. It also is just generally the second best for dealing with the special enemies. I would say that the Swarm is better for most of them, except for the Panzer for some reason. I think it's just because the crit spot is so easy to hit on the Panzer that it makes the base variant of the Cerberus just give it that little edge. But definitely against Disciples and against Manglers, the Swarm kills them faster, at least in my experience. But honestly, just because of how all around good the base variant is at just killing zombies, killing the Panzers, all that together, it just makes it the #1 pick. And I, at this point, now that I've played the map for what, like 5 days, I barely ever pick up any of the upgrades. If I'm doing high rounds, I don't want them. If I'm doing speed runs, I don't want them. Like, if you go and watch my streams when I'm playing the map, I'm not touching really any of the upgrades except for like the Blazer when I'm doing an Easter egg speedrun because I have to melt the door open. Like, that's it. Just all around, this thing is by far the best version. I hope to see some buffs to the upgraded versions in the future, just to actually make them upgrades and make them worth picking up. I would much rather see buffs to the upgrades than a nerf to the base variant, but we're honestly probably going to see a nerf to the base variant. So with that, the base Cerberus by far gets the #1 spot. And with that, that's going to be the video for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new, feel free to go ahead and leave a like, a comment, or a subscription. Any of those would be greatly appreciated. If you're looking for any more MAUER TOTEN videos, I have a bunch of them up on the channel already, and I have more of them coming soon, so feel free to go ahead and check the channel, or whatever video you get in the end cards. If you're looking to catch some MAUER TOTEN content live on Twitch, or to any other Zombies content live on Twitch, I'll have a link to my channel on screen and the description below. I stream on there all the time, and we'd love to have you guys come and chill out and chat. But with all that being said, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.